All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Per, for this nice introduction. And we have seen from Anders' presentation the absolutely impressive supply of possibilities and technologies. And we need to, we are at a moment where we really have to check how much we need of all that. So I will present a work that we've been doing with a number of experts within the International Energy Agency. Of course, lighting is a narrative. Lighting control is the upper level, is what to do with light when we vary, when we change, when we adjust according to some aesthetical or design specification on new functionalities. So the issue is when and where should we adjust light power and effects, but also how to do it efficiently and simply. Simply being, of course, a big issue if we see the sophistication of the supply today. So I'm just part of the international task. I'm in charge of subtask dealing with technology. We have work on user perspective and requirements in subtask A. In subtask C, organized by the Austrian partners, they look at more the tools for designers and professionals. And D is mostly a gathering of case studies around lighting controls. We have the chance to have a number of experts involved into our subtask on technology, but at very different levels. Some of them are not very active, some much more. And I want to thank Per Reinhold for joining and helping us now in this program. We will produce, and we have started to produce 5 major reports. One dealing with a survey we did with professionals in different countries. The second one be to dealing with a review of control systems. That's what I will talk a bit today. The next is about the trends. We try to look at the trends and try to have a vision of the future, which is a very hard task, of the next 5 years. We also looked at the interface, the way this interface can shape the use of these lighting controls. And finally, we will address some issue dealing with standardization, because the manufacturers are re-asking questions about the future standards being in preparation today. If I come back to this survey, we conducted a number of countries. We asked questions about the issues of professionals around lighting controls. And we found out there was a number of topics, of course, energy related, related to operation, benefits, occupant control and comfort, functionalities, technology, and so on. And what came out so far from that is if I look at the priorities that were expressed by the professionals, certainly the justification for lighting electricity consumption reduction was put on top, but also with robustness and warranty about to check if everything we propose have a long life and robustness. The easy commissioning and recommissioning, which is when you change the affectation of the buildings and you want to recommission the lighting. Look for standardized solutions. The economic model of lighting control was raised. The simplicity of operation, the possibility of occupants to override, especially for shading, because our tasks deal with the electric lighting and also shading controls. The task ambient controls, the glare control window for windows, especially at workplaces, possible well-being effects, future-proof, big issue regarding technology. We've seen with Anders the incredible supply. This means that if I have to invest today, what should I do so my investment is not lost after 5 or 8 years? The compatibility with the building management system, HVAC control, and all these possibilities dealing with internet that we've seen today with IoT, but also indoor wireless systems. We have published this, and this is being reviewed today by the Executive Committee of the International Energy Agency. We have been also working on a review of systems, and where how to see how this system could help and contribute to reduce energy consumption around lighting. So we have things we know, you all know very well, all the dimming and remote control. But the architecture, as you know, is we have reviewed a number of architectures, centralized, localized, using a mesh, the closed loop, the open loop, using the Internet of Things. And we tried to map solutions in relation to energy saving potential. So this was very ambitious, as you can imagine. We also looked at the well, electric lighting and shading, but also the market structure. As you know, the solutions are quite different in the residential sector and the non-residential. We looked at the benefits of dimming and the way to operate internal, external shading with lighting controls, with these controls, the motorized and non-motorized shading, and dealing with security is security of system, but also the fact that shadings are often used for security purpose, right? We looked at different lighting control options. It's extremely impressive to see the supply today with, I would not repeat a number of keywords that were introduced before by others, but we know we have a number of protocols. We know there is a link today of lighting with data supply. If you look just at the PoE, power over Ethernet, and the new IEEE standards, you can see you can power lights because you can go up to 100 watts, but you can also develop cheaper infrastructure with the cheap sensors, multi-purpose solutions. So this is some direction we look very carefully today of the link of lighting with the data supply. We also look carefully at the DC voltage. We know there's more and more local production of electricity, batteries that can be used. So more low voltage, but also a push from the car industry to come up with solutions that can interfere with the building sector, especially around the electrical car. So there is something happening there, and we have to look at it very carefully. We know that the conclusion will be probably cheaper sensors, cheaper controls. The fact that we have geolocalization embedded in the systems allow a number of functionalities around commissioning, for example, but also many other. We also looked at Li-Fi, which is not a lighting control system, but it's something that is pushing the lighting industry towards being an actor into data and communication. So things will happen there. Especially in airports, in shopping centers, and places like stations or whatever. We know that this, coming back to this push going to DC, work with the reducing number of converters can lead, in theory, to a cost reduction of investment, but there's a lot of products that's still to be on the market and competitive. Today, it's more niche markets, so it's not really starting, but we can see that in the US and Korea, among other markets, a push toward that direction. We have been, especially with our partner in Germany, benchmarking a number of protocols and with a number of features and attributes, and Anders have shown in his, among these last slides, this kind of comparison of systems. And the difficulty is things are moving. So whatever we do, the real question we have regarding that is not looking for the best solution, but the most durable and future-proof solution, which is another issue. And as you can see, it's a war between a number of partners, and the battle will be around standards and around openness of systems. This is happening worldwide. I'm working on a large project outside Europe also, and I can tell you that it's really difficult to make a decision for a country for long-term investment in this domain. We look at possible trends, and actually A way to analyze the trends in this lighting control is to have a kind of an analysis following value proposition. It's things we are quite involved into these techniques where let's see in lighting control what are the pain relievers and what are the source of value creation. And actually, if you really look carefully, you can have little hints of priorities and things to do and opportunities to do business, because you are, most of you, trying to make a business out of these controls. So I think it's very important to have a really vision of the benefits you and we all as professionals bring to our customers and to the society in general. And since we talk about Denmark, the Danish citizen, what is the real value we bring with our systems? I will not cover that, but it will be in this report in detail, which is, we're finishing it now actually. The another aspect we addressed was the user interfaces. There's many options. You know, we all know these wall systems, you know, with screens, we know switches. The things are moving, and a lot of value is in the user interface, because this is what you see from the system, whether you are a user or whether you are a facility manager. And we see that we noticed in the US a big move towards standardizing a number of components of these interfaces. And we see a lot of creativity in this domain, but we have to really think more about the position of this interface, whether they're portable, what are they on the wall. And the performance of the system seems to be very related to the quality of the interface. We have a number of outcomes that around this, and I'm sorry, this slide is probably not at the right position. This was the in the former report, so I would not mention that too much. I would just address a last point. We will be working on the next month, which will be the standardization issue. In controls, you have relevant standards. We have the IEEE, IEC. We have even CIE standard that could be applied, NEN, CEN standards, which are of our concern. But there are a number of standards being developed today, which link directly to the control, but also beyond the controls. And we are monitoring that. It's very important to see what's going on. And we expect, I don't know, this is the ambition we have within the members of the task, to also identify the need for some standards. As you know, in the survey, we have identified the real strong demand for future-proof, flexible solutions. And from what we've seen so far, we've seen an overwhelming quantity of proposals, which can be impressive and can lead to kind of worrying the clients to worry about this system. So we try to address that with our colleagues in Europe, in the US, in China, Japan, and Korea. We also have been working on a guide on the internet with using interface. We think that lighting controls also could be seen as a kind of game, sorry for the term, gamification, but I think it is a kind of a different ways to communicate with our clients about the potential of lighting control. So we are working on that. We're doing a number of interactive simulations and intent to show what's going on, how to play with lighting control to make them more attractive. And we are doing that with input from the participants from different countries. That's to finish, because I see it's time. I would like to leave just a message to you today is when we see all that, the question we have is the creation of value around lighting controls in Denmark, and especially for the clients, the end users, for the Danish industry in general. I mean, what are the different bricks to develop and manage so it's good for you? and globally for the society, because we believe that through the impact on energy conservation, well-being, satisfaction, better functionality, we talk about the society in general. So this is what we keep in mind, and I want really to keep this in mind doing all our work for the IEA. I thank you very much. This will be my last slide. Okay.
Thank you a lot, Marc. Lots of information, Marc. I wonder, it's been hitting the ground running for me in this project, trying to catch up with all the information that's already been discussed and developed. If you can, Marc, put on your camera again. So
yes, I tried to see where it is. Okay, here we go. I have to turn this.
That's fine. But Marc, yeah. How do you balance well-being against energy savings? What is more important? I've had good fortune to proofread some of the two of the reports now, and there's a lot of focus on saving energy. How is that balanced? What is is the starting point saving energy? Because saving energy is fine, but if you save energy in a way where people are not very satisfied, you lose a lot of money, perhaps in absence, people being not motivated or they don't turn up or anything. So it could be interesting to hear what you discussed earlier on in the project on this balance.
Yeah, well, there are different ways. We have a whole bunch of teams of experts working on this well-being and the light effect of light on that. These are a huge amount of knowledge, and they gather that, and that's very important. But I would just start with a very basic description we have from our American partners. They say the very first priority is no complaint. So lighting should work, and there should be no complaint. If you have complaint, why do you look about long-term effects? First, there should be no complaints. No complaints, which means the light should do what it's supposed to be, the best way, comfortably when you need it. So that's really the first top priority. And then we go to more discrete impact, long-term, related to health, or what, as you know, all this buzz now on this. Right now, we are in the Western world in a very luxury conditions, I think, and in Denmark in particular, you have pretty good lighting, I must say. So the complaints are quite low. So we are looking at kind of the little effects, but we think that a key issue today is aging of the population, where we have to think of lighting for people who could be retired at 70. And this changes completely the focus, which means we have to adjust the lighting to exactly the needs of the people, the visual need or whatever. So I would say, beyond what I said at the beginning, which is a no complaint, I would say adapt lighting to the diversity of the population, the aging, the changing task or whatever, because the value of lighting, I mean, how much costs lighting per year, honestly, in TCO, we talk about 20, 30 kroner of electricity maybe per square meter per year, which is very, very small compared to the effect. So you're right, this is an essential point, and I hope that in the subtask A, all the gathering of information will be of use for you at DCL and your members.
Thank you, and we are involved in the project, and we will with the information which we are also so fortunate that we can have a look at, look at. We will obviously share that in Light, in our magazine, Lys, and on the different platforms that we have. So, Marc, thank you very much. Very, very interesting again.
Thank you. Thanks very much for your support. Okay, bye-bye.
Of course. Thank you, Marc.